Hello everyone. Today I'm going to review a book called Modern Watercolor by Kristin Van Leuven. I hope I've pronounced her name properly. I've been asked to review this book by Diane Anton of Diane Anton Studio on YouTube. Diane has created at least one, if not several tutorials based on the contents and the ideas in this book. She has over 1,000 art tutorials on her channel. You can paint along to them in real time. It's like sitting and painting with a friend. I've put a link for you in the description below to Diane's channel. Kristin describes her book as a playful and contemporary exploration of watercolour painting. In the content section, we have Getting Started, Introduction, Supplies, Painting Basics. Section on Exploring Colour, to include theory and mixing, mark making and brushstrokes, shapes and patterns, resist techniques using masking fluid and other resist techniques, painting botanicals, painting animals, landscapes and more, and a little bit about the artist herself. In the introduction, Kristin tells us what to expect from this lovely book. I like the way this book has been laid out, with clear photographs and descriptions. It's not all crammed together. The size of this is just right. Here Kristin covers basic supplies, followed by painting basics, how to load your brush with the correct quantity of water and paint. We have a detailed techniques section, techniques such as a flat wash, how to apply colour evenly, a gradated wash, how to get your colour to fade from dark to light, variegated wash, using two colours and getting them to merge together, painting wet on dry, painting with a dry brush to get some textural effects, and glazing, where you allow one layer of paint to dry and then paint either the same colour or another colour over the top. Still with techniques, we have example of how to paint wet on wet, dry on wet, blending, pressure and lifting. I was a bit confused at first when I first looked at this page because the previous page, the instructions are left to right, whereas on these two pages, it's from the top down, but nonetheless the detailed instructions are there with very clear photographs. We move on for an example of how to create hard and soft edges, and this time we're back to left to right. Yeah, I think that's my only complaint really. It was a little bit confusing. And then we have backruns, tilting, which is how you pull colours into each other by tilting your work, and then splattering. There's a whole page on removing paint, which is really useful if you want to lighten an area or if you're trying to put clouds into the sky. And here's an example of just that process. It's a picture, lovely picture. So we then come to exploring colour. We've got two pages on basic colour theory and the colour wheel. Kristin looks at colour harmony with different colour arrangements. You don't need to use all the colours in the rainbow to create a lovely painting. Some of the nicest paintings you'll come across are painted with a limited palette. There's a very good section on colour mixing. There are different ways to mix colours and create different colours in watercolour. You can put two separate colours on the paper, such as the example here, yellow and blue, which have the colours have merged on the paper to create a lovely green, or you can mix them together in the palette before you apply them on the paper, or you can use a technique called glazing, where you apply one colour to the paper, let it dry, then paint the other colour over the top of that, allow that to dry, and you get this lovely translucent luminous third colour. It's important to learn how to mix the colours in your palette, and Kristin advises creating colour mixing charts. Not only is this a good exercise where you can learn how to control the water on your brush, but it really gives you a deep understanding of how the different colours in your palette mix together. It's quite a relaxing exercise to undertake, and you can refer to the colour charts over and over again. Saves you a lot of angst trying to get the right colour if you can just refer to the charts you've created. On these two pages, Kristin discusses value, sometimes called tone, and this is how light or dark a colour is. This is something that I personally have struggled with, being able to see value when looking at colour. I'm getting much better at it, basically because of practice and practicing painting images in one colour only. And here are some little mini projects you can have a go at. Little doodles like this, using only one colour, will help you understand value. This brings us to the section Understanding Brushstrokes. Kristin provides lots of examples of the different brushstrokes you can make with different shapes and sizes of brushes. Here we have several pages teaching us how to create watercolour letters. I've not come across this in any of the art books I've reviewed so far, and here's an example of a painting with some text incorporated. Have courage and be kind. That would make a nice card or a framed gift for somebody, wouldn't it? Over the next few pages, Kristin demonstrates how to make basic shapes such as circles and ovals, triangles and diamonds, and how to put these all together to create all-over patterns. If you're new to watercolour, this is a really good exercise learning how to control the water and paint on your brush and how to use your different shaped brushes. The next few pages covers different resist techniques. These are techniques you can use to preserve the white of the paper. Here Kristin demonstrates how to use masking fluid and how to use masking tape. You will need low tack artist masking tape, otherwise it will tear your paper, but this enables you to get some really crisp straight lines. Here is a lovely example of how to create some geometric patterns with sharp edges using masking tape, and then other resist techniques such as dropping water into a puddle of paint while it's still wet and using wax crayon and painting over it. I remember doing it to create a firework picture, and I put lots of different coloured fireworks all over the page with wax crayon and then went over it with dark midnight blue paint. I was so proud of it. That was while I was at school, by the way. I was only 6. Here is an example of how to remove paint with your paintbrush and water, and a painting Kristin has made using masking fluid to preserve the white of the dots. In Painting Botanical section, Kristin demonstrates how to paint different flower shapes and how to create a composition by putting them all together to create a floral bouquet. Here Kristin demonstrates how to paint various leaf shapes and then put them all together, flowers and leaves, to create some pretty wreaths. And here's how to assemble some pretty all-over floral patterns. In the final section of the book, Kristin has several projects covering how to paint animals, which are really cute actually, faces, some abstract landscapes and interiors. Bit of a mixed bag, but there's something there for everybody. An odd subject here, painting a beetle, but my son-in-law likes to paint insects. Yeah. So this brings us to the final page, where there's a little bit about Kristin Van Leuven herself. She's a watercolour artist best known for her loose style and modern approach to painting. A little bit about Kristin. So my overall impression of the book is that it's a really good book to have for absolute beginners, for complete beginners. It teaches a lot of the basic techniques which are fundamental to being able to work with watercolour. Contrary to popular opinion, watercolour is the most difficult medium to work with. Pastels and oils and acrylics are much easier, but once you've mastered the basic skills, you can create stunning effects with watercolour that are virtually impossible to achieve in the different mediums. It just takes a bit of time and practice. So I would recommend this book for beginners or people who would like to improve their watercolour techniques. I think that'd be really helpful. In the description below, you'll find links to where you can purchase Modern Watercolour by Kristin Van Leuven. I've also added a link to Kristin's YouTube channel for you and her Instagram page. There is also a link to another valuable resource which I mentioned at the beginning of this book review, Diane Anton Studio. Her YouTube channel has over 1,000 videos all about watercolour, and there's a couple of projects based on this modern watercolour book as well. And finally, if you found my book review helpful, please give this video a like, then YouTube will recommend the video to other people. Please leave me a comment below. I do read and reply to them all. I would be interested to know if there are any other books that you'd like me to review. I do take requests. I release a new video every week. If you'd like to be notified, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and happy painting.